An Indian brand that has always been one that has set the market and the Indian stage on fire. Now going through certain challenges and reacting to those challenges. I'm going to talk now to Rahul Sharma, the founder and managing director of Micromax. Always great to sit down because here's a man who calls a spade, a rarity in almost every part of technology companies. Rahul, thank you very much once again. I think the third or fourth time we're really talking, but today should be very interesting because I'm going to start off first by finding out the most critical thing. I think that is far more important than anything else. How is married life treating you?
In one word, if I have to summarize, it's nothing like anything.
Oh, yeah. So the punch is not there, right? I mean, that part of it
punch is gone on the other side.
But otherwise, all good. And this is like you say in your own, whenever you have a product launch or something like that, there's hype, and there's buzz, and then there's final expectation, and then all of it comes together. So it's been everything you dreamt about?
Yeah, so all I can, sum it up as beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know that she's watching, so all of these things have to be said the right way. But I can see from you that you seem to be far more relaxed and happier. So we'll take it to be that things are awesome right now. Let's move on to what I spoke about right in the beginning. Micromax as a company came in, against all odds, became this mega giant in India, really taught people that an Indian company can play right at the top league, right? But now there are challenges. Lots of other brands coming in, creating more excitement in the market on a weekly basis. One brand will come in and buy 48 full-page ads in a newspaper. Another one will come in and do a digital campaign that spends more money than those 48 full-page ads. How do you take that on when you're now an established brand that must do regular business rather than doing these huge launches every week?
Well, Rajiv, these challenges, these are not new to us.
Okay.
When we started off, people, they never gave us a chance. At that time, companies like Nokia, they had some, 70% plus market share. Nobody thought that a company from India, Micromax, can come and deliver the goods at that time. So I think we demonstrated that an Indian company can also do it. Then that was Micromax 1.0.
Okay.
Then Micromax 2.0 happened when the whole smartphone evolution started in 2010 and 11. At that time, again, people said in smartphone, these guys won't be able to do it because they were more of a small town players and all. I think we demonstrated that in smartphones as well. So for us, in terms of all those challenges, at that time, the competition was different. In 2010-11, competition was different. Now competition is different. So we have seen all these waves, in various times. So I think competition always expands the market, and it is always good for the consumer, and also good for the companies who take that in a positive sense.
Okay.
Always keeps you on your toes, and you can always learn and move forward. So for us, how we see the whole competition, the all new launches is, I think markets are expanding. Consumers are looking for more and more smartphones, and that also opens a door for opportunity for players like us.
Okay. Now, interestingly, you actually sliced it into three different stages: Micromax 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Out of everything that you've done at this present moment where you stand, or when you were doing the challenge of Micromax 2.0, or when you started with 1.0, is this the greatest challenge you believe? Because this is a saturated market. This is a market with too much clutter. Even though there are way too many people that want to buy a smartphone, they're becoming far more choosy about brand excitement, and some don't care at all. There's no loyalty. They say, we don't care about the brand. We'll just go with anybody that gives us the best offer of the day. Biggest challenge yet?
I don't think it is biggest challenge yet. I think the biggest challenge was that time when we started making mobile phones. At that time, as I said, there was no norm. Nobody thought that an Indian company can do it. I think that was a time when the whole cart started rolling.
Okay.
I think now it is all about shifting the gears and adjusting your speed, moving fast or slow, or changing your direction.
Mm-hmm.
It is all about that. So why we are calling this as Micromax 3.0 is because times are changing. Earlier it was more about hardware. So when smartphones started, it was more about hardware, how many megapixels you can do, whether it is 2G or 3G or 4G. I think in times to come, hardware or smartphone will become more of a, as commodity, and software is going to play a very, very important role. And that's why last year we started investing in various startups at various companies, and now we started blending all those companies into our platform and baking into our operating system. Okay. So for us, Micromax 3.0 is more about services. We wanted to we want to become the biggest services player in this country, and that's why we are unleashing Micromax 3.0. So hence a complete new look, hence a new logo, which is much more bolder than ever, much more in your face, and we are going all out and saying this is the way forward. And I've also seen the trend, as you were mentioning. I think we were the only company last year who were investing in so many startups. So time to reap those benefits, and I think that gives us an extra edge in the market. This year is going to be exciting for us.
Okay, great. So let's talk about that other thing that you just touched upon, which is your new look, right? To a lot of people that are not in the industry, a change of branding usually confuses people. What's the need? Why would you do it? I mean, you spent millions and millions to make us familiar with the particular look of a brand, and now you're changing it. The other part that people don't get is that when you change a brand, it's not about just paying an advertising agency and some graphic designer. The amount of investment is to change everything. Your boxes change, your shops change, every single poster of yours anywhere will change. So it's a huge investment. Eventually, what's the end goal? Why did you feel the need to do it? Was the energy low in the company, or is this a new re-energized system? What's the need to do it? Because it is a massive investment, right? So what was the need and what's the thought process?
So the thought process is, this is change of tonality. So when I say, so let me, just give you an example. Yeah. So for example, if you relate this to cricket, this is change in stance.
Okay.
Right. So
now your liftoff is more, and your
so the change in stance is when you want to defend more, your legs are not that wide, and then your lift is not that much. But if you want to if you want to hit the ball, or in terms of if you are a hitter, then your stance will become,
and your back lift is that much more. So what is this? Is this your stance with your legs wider and your back lift higher?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, this means we are becoming more and more bold. And certainly we want to hit the ball out of park for sure. But and this is change. The change should always be there. And as we said, we have seen Micromax 1.0, 2.0. This is 3.0. If we don't change ourselves with times, as you said, competition will keep coming in, right? So depending upon the times, I think this is the right time for us to shift the gears, change our stance, and unleash a new Micromax, in this country. Okay. And hence the change of logo, change of stance, change of tonality, and also change into our product portfolio.
So you spoke about a brand new portfolio, and you have launched and announced some new products along with your brand, your new brand logo. Is this then a preview of what we're going to get? Is this an example of the new Micromax 3.0, or just a preview?
No, certainly, as we are unleashing 3.0. So what happened, Rajiv, last year, by November itself, when so many things started happening. Well, last year was quite eventful year in the whole telecom industry. We saw all the markets, and we said, okay, let's take a step back. Let's see and analyze what exactly the consumers are looking at. What sort of products, do they need? What sort of services they are looking at? And at that time, we started making our products. We said, okay, let's completely refresh the portfolio, because the consumer consumer has started behaving in a certain manner. The product IDs were getting changed. Their software needs, the services needs were getting changed. So we completely changed our product outlook, and for each and every different segment, right from 4,000 rupees till 20,000 rupees, we started making different products for different audience. So in Micromax 3.0, we are launching, of course, we are launching our flagship products, which is Canvas 6 and Canvas 6 Pro. But apart from that, we are also launching 20 more products. So this means we are completely refreshing. So this is not just 3.0 in terms of only changing our logo and all. This is also changing our complete product portfolio in terms of hardware, in terms of software. So a very big move from our side.
So you've actually preempted my next question. To a lot of people, there was a slowdown at Micromax last year. You partially answered that. Was there any other reason than to relook at your portfolio, lean back a little and wait for it all to just kind of come together in the right way? Because I would say last year was your slowest year in terms of your product releases. You've always been a very aggressive company that has never waited for others to do anything. But last year cannot be described as that. So you've already given me one reason. Anything else?
No, I think if you look back at the history, the most successful armies are those who take a step back, assess the situation of their competition, and then start their attack. So I think that's what we did, and hopefully in terms of our ammunition, in terms of our new products, I think we got them right. So that was the only reason. We were just studying the market, and that's how we slowed down. So in first quarter we never launched any product.
Correct.
And so all the products are now coming in, and that's why 2016 is going to be eventful year for us.
Okay, so let's now just try and explore. You have a brand new look, you have a brand new energy, you've taken a stand back, reanalyzed, perfected it, and you're back, and you're saying may well be the most eventful year for you in a very long time. If I was to say exactly from today, the day of the launch of the new Micromax 3.0, 1 year, what are your landmarks? What are your goals? What would make you really happy if you achieved?
So, 3.0 is not about numbers for us. It's all about the user experience, that what sort of user experience we are able to create and carve out of our phones. After a year or so, we will be looking at multiple people using all those different sort of services which we are baking into our system. Eventually, every hour they will be using those services. So this is not, these services are not targeted on one vertical. For example, it is not only about commerce, or it's not only about cabs. This is about everything you do on daily basis. So we know that you're into commerce, so we'll give you commerce. If you are into cabs, we will give you, and we will prompt you that okay, the system will say that okay, these are your normal office timings, and by this time you take a cab. So we will offer you cabs. In your regular, for your lunches and all, we will offer you let's say food services. There will be health services. So for example, if you're looking for a doctor, you can find a doctor on this platform.
Okay.
So this means to say, earlier phones were like, they were only used for voice calls and SMS. Now these days, for everything, practically 24 hours, the phone is with you. So if every hour we are able to give you some sort of services and help our consumer in their day-to-day life, I think that is what we will be looking at after a year or so.
So once again, we come down to the fact that this is a brand new Micromax in terms of what you're going to be doing, but you still have this huge area where you sell in certain towns and small towns where people wouldn't care about all this, not right now. For them, it's very important to be able to just communicate, right? Are you going to have a separate portfolio for them? Are you still going to be, or are you getting out of that business? Because you're still king in certain B towns and C towns where what all you said is complete alien language for them, right? They don't need cabs. They may not need X and Y kind of services. How do you re-energize for them?
So Rajiv, these are the guys who evolve very quickly. Like 2 years back or so, we never thought that these people will be buying smartphones because India was still under-penetrated in terms of telecom. And these are the people who are now coming up and embracing smartphones. So we will be surprised to know that how soon, how quickly these guys are coming up on this platform. But coming back on your question that, okay, will these guys require cabs as of now? Maybe not. But the system is so intelligent, the whole analytics, what we have behind the system. So if we know that Rajiv, is not using cabs, but he's more into movies, probably we'll change cabs with movies. Or some other person who wants to learn English is not into cabs, we will change that cabs with learn English. So the system, the phone will adapt and understand your behavior, and then based on your behavior, we will start pushing all those services.
So let's talk about the other final frontier that's left. A lot of companies coming in and using this whole make in India, right? Some is pure marketing gimmickry. Some of them is using it only for publicity. Some trying to take the nationalistic pride of, we're a Chinese company, but we make in India. You could have actually been the poster boy of Make in India a long time back. Why have you gone slow with this, and what's the future model?
No, we haven't gone slow with Make in India. Actually, we were the first one before Government of India, came out with Make in India campaign. We already had our factories up and running in Uttarakhand. In terms of going along with this Make in India, we are already, we have invested in 4 manufacturing plants out here in India. 2 of them are already up and running, Uttarakhand and Telangana, and 2 more are coming up. And both of them will be operational this year itself. So by this year end, we will have 4 factories operational. Let's say in next 2 years, which is let's say by end of 2017, you will see Micromax making 100% product out here.
100%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my final question is my crystal ball gazing question.
Before that, as you rightly said, that some of them are doing it for more and more gimmicks. We were the first one to invest out here in India, and putting up our own manufacturing facilities rather than outsourcing it to someone else. So I think that sums it all.
Right. So my last question is always the same one to you. It's crystal ball gazing. I only changed the question. The rest of it remains the same. With the way the Indian market is moving right now, where almost every single company, including a super premium brand like Apple or a completely unknown brand that has come from China, everybody thinks that the next holy grail is in India. And it's actually getting proven that they're quite right. So everybody wants to come here. With the number of companies waking up to the potential like an Apple, or new companies that are coming in every alternate week, each of them wants to carve away a 0.5 or a 1% or a 2% of the market. The market is not infinite. It is finite, even though we all dream that it is infinite. If everybody wants 1 to 2% of the market, then those who have 30 to 40% of the market will give up a certain share, or will they remain the same? About a year from now, what do you see the Indian market to be? And the reason I'm asking you this is that I'd love to come back after a year and play what you said back to you to see how close you were to your prediction. How will this market play out with 50 more new brands coming in this year?
So to us, again, earlier competition was different, players were different. When we started as Micromax, there are 128 Indian companies who started at that time. So I think that competition is gone. Then there was different competition in smartphones, that is gone. I think this is the last leg of competition. So it's as most of our media friends say, this is a Chinese assault. Right. So I think this is the last assault, and because after this nobody will be left. Whosoever was there, everybody is here now. So I think by end of this year, as you said. It will be clear that who will be a long-term player, and whosoever understands this market well, identify those needs, those gaps, will be able to survive. If you ask us, I think we are a marathon player. We are not a 100 meters or a sprinter. So for us, it is all about the long-term vision, long-term goal. So I think by this year end, the dust should settle. You will see some exits in the market. I don't know who they will be, but whosoever understands this market well and will be able to come up with products which are going to help the consumers, I think they will stay.
So let me just quantify this. If there are going to be top 5 companies in India after a year, will there be 2 Indian companies in that, or just 1?
That's a tough one, though.
Well, you and me sit down. If it's not tough, it's not fun.
Well, on that front, in top 5, So when you say one, who that one will be?
Well, I'm taking it to be that you have to be
Okay.
out there.
Okay.
So I'm saying,
Thanks for clearing.
will there be two or not? I'm taking it for granted you will be there.
No, but I hope to see more and more Indian companies, in top 5. Why not? If companies from China can come out here, why can't Indians they can rise to the occasion and can fight it out. So we would love to see more and more Indian companies out there.
Okay, great, Rahul. As always, pleasure talking to you.
No.
Congratulations on your new life, which is the married one, and the new brand and logo. So a double start literally for you. I hope to see you very soon.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.